What's up, world? It's your girl T Fizzle. If you haven't heard, there's all this controversy surrounding Beyonce in blackface. She recently did a photo shoot for a French magazine overseas, and basically, Beyonce has a dark skinned face and a light skinned body. Folks are pissed off. Beyonce done went from looking like a white woman in that L'Oreal ad to, I guess, playing an African woman. So a lot of people are really upset about it. I have blogged about it on Thursday, and a few people wanted to know my opinion on video, so I'm about to give my opinion. There were a few things that kind of offended me when I saw the ad. The main thing that offended me was not so much Beyonce being in blackface. When the article was first released by the website, they stated that this was a tribute to honor the memory of Fela Kuti. And I was offended by that because I grew up in a household where we listened to Fela Kuti all the time. We listened to Fela. I still listen to Fela's music. And I thought that was a bullshit ass tribute. And how dare they say that this is a tribute to him in African culture. Like, I wasn't feeling that. I didn't understand what part of this photo shoot consisted in this being a tribute to this man. If you don't know who he is, he was a Nigerian artist. He made really good music that brought the people together. He did a lot of activism for Nigeria. His music was not only popular in Nigeria, but all over Africa, all over the world. He's held to really, really high regards. So to me, for them to say that this is a tribute to him, I just kind of felt like it was a slap in the face. That wasn't a proper tribute. From what I've read, supposedly the reason why Beyonce chose to do the blackface thing and paint half her face black, it was supposed to be some type of artistic fashion statement, and it was also supposed to represent the people of Africa, which to me I felt was total bullshit. Because if you know anything about Africa, Beyonce, you know that Africa is not a country, it's a continent, and there's millions of people in Africa. Africa is one of the most diverse places in the world. You have people in northern Africa who are more similar, to Arabs, lighter skin. Then you have East Africans, Somalians, Ethiopians, they have their own features. Then you have West Africans, they have their own features. Africans come in a range of skin tones, features, hair grade. So for somebody to just slap some black paint on her and say that that equates Africa, I thought that was bullshit. Everybody in Africa is not black as hell. So I don't see how that equates Africa. It's no different than seeing Caribbean people or seeing African Americans. People in Africa range in all types of skin tones. So I don't see how her being painted darker is supposed to represent African women or African beauty. Beauty comes in all colors. With the tribute aside, because to me that was a bullshit tribute. They try to come back. They basically try to backtrack and say that they didn't say that it was a tribute. Beyonce was misquoted. She was supposedly just said that that was one of her favorite artists and that it wasn't a tribute to him. But the thing is, they wrote this on their website. So for them to backtrack now, it makes them just sound stupid. You know what I'm saying? So if you said it, you said it. No need to backtrack. Y'all claimed it was a tribute and it blew up in y'all's face. You're salty. No need to backtrack. Keep it moving. The second part of the whole Beyonce controversy that kind of pissed a lot of people off was her being in blackface. I'm all for artistic expression. I'm all for, being able to change yourself. That's part of modeling. That's part of photography, looking different in every shot. But the thing is, when I look at Beyonce and only half of her face is painted brown and the rest of her body is light skinned, to me that's not really artistic. When I looked at that, it reminded me more of blackface. It really did. I know a lot of people got on will.i.am when he painted his skin black. To me, that was just some other stuff. He didn't really offend me like that. This kind of offended me more because when I looked at Beyonce and I saw her with that brown makeup on, I was like, okay, cool. I thought it was interesting. But then when I seen the rest of her, I'm like, well, why did you stop at your face? Because that's the same thing these minstrel people did when they used to do blackface and make fun of African Americans. They never painted their arms. They didn't paint their legs. They stopped at their face and their neck. So that to me was just kind of strange that they decided to stop there. If you're going to do something, you know what I'm saying, do it big. Don't go halfway. Go balls out.
Don't fuck around with it. Go in and do it expeditiously. Now go in and jump.
Like Mr. Clark said, if you're going to do something, do it expeditiously. Don't mess around with it. I don't understand that. It's like, why would you stop halfway and then not finish coloring the rest of your body. Another thing that I know that a lot of people found offensive is there's a picture of her, and on that picture of her with the dark skin, there's some tribal, supposedly tribal paintings. But the tribal paintings are near her nose and they kind of flare up. So a lot of people said that it reminds them of when they show Africans or African caricatures with bones in their noses. That they equated that to like a bone being in Beyonce's nose. And at first I didn't even realize that. Then when I kind of looked at the picture, I can see where people came up with that conclusion. I just think as an artist, Beyonce needs to be more careful with the type of image that she's portraying and how her image is used, because she has a great deal of responsibility, regardless if she wants it or not. She's gonna have to expect backlash when you do something like this. And a lot of people might say it's artistic, it's not a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal if it hadn't been done before. Why is brown skin always looked at being artistic? Why is painting your skin or painting yourself darker looked at as some type of art form? When that's that's somebody's real skin tone, that's somebody's real complexion. It's not an art form. That's how somebody was born. With that being said, I have a great idea. How about using a dark skin model? Are there no more dark skin models? Why couldn't a dark skin model have done that ad? Why couldn't they have done the tribute to Fela Kuti? You know what I'm saying? Why did they have to use Beyonce and put her in blackface? That's what I don't understand. Are we running out of dark skin models? Are there no Nigerian models who could have did that? But yes, I understand it's Beyonce, and Beyonce sells magazines. And plus, that's controversy for their magazine. So I understand why they use Beyonce. But again, I felt like the pictures with her in her regular skin tone were beautiful. The ones with her brown skin, I wasn't feeling that because she didn't go all the way with it. Perfect example. If you remember on America's Next Top Model Cycle 2, there was that Puerto Rican girl, Xiomara. And I remember Tyra had did a shoot, and basically she had gotten picked to be Grace Jones. She was kind of mad that they had picked her to be Grace Jones. But once everything was said and done and the picture came out, it was fabulous. I thought that was a really, really good artistic image. The girl looked like Grace Jones, so I can understand and appreciate art. But to me, what Beyonce did was not art. She went half-assed with it. That was just some half-assed mess. But at the end of the day, am I shocked by anything Beyonce or any of these celebrities do? No, I'm not. At the end of the day, we got to realize Beyonce, to me, is just the type of chick. She'll do anything for money. The L'Oreal ad that was out a few years ago, she got paid good money for that. She never addressed the situation why they made her, why they airbrushed her so much that she looked more like a white woman than a black woman. And then now with the blackface thing. So she never addresses these situations. It's like if she gets paid, she don't care. And that's how I feel about it. I'm saying? It's all about the money to her. This is the same person in January who had performed at Muammar Gaddafi's son's party. They paid her $2 million in cash money. While their people in Libya are starving, they're going through turmoil, they're going through all types of shit through this dictator, and they can afford to pay Beyonce $2 million to perform 5 songs. I think that's utter bullshit. So to me, that just shows me that she'll do anything for money, with no regards as to who it may affect or how, people's feelings behind it. As long as the checks keep coming in, Beyonce's gonna keep doing Beyonce. But I want to know what you guys think about that, about the whole Beyonce situation. And if Kelly was to do it, being light-skinned, how do you think people will react to that? So go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces.